And we are live. Hey, everybody. Tonia Reeves, Australias Cowgirl Medium, here with the awesome Tony Kiss, who's streaming live today from the Human Repair Shop in Sydney. Hey, Tony, how are we?
Good, busy,
December.
bloody busy. People, Tonya, hi, how are you? Hi, everybody out there. Say hi if you're out there. What happened? You know what? Seriously, this is the only time. Okay, and let's put this in context. I'm always politically incorrect. We know that. But I'm going to tee this up so I'm not. With COVID, it is terrible and people have passed away. And I want to respect and honor that. And it's a really bad thing. But I'm going to say this. I wish COVID was back without all the deaths, without any deaths, whatever. So just the idea of COVID, just for this Christmas period where we don't have to rush out to the shops because we bloody can't. And we can't get into this Christmas rush. We don't have to go to 7,000 people's places on Christmas Day because we can't, just slow it right back down. That's the only thing I wanted to bring up. Was like it is. I don't know about you, Tonya. And Nita, how are you? I'd love to, Nita, jump on. If you guys are out there, Jen's on board as well. Who's got caught up in this ridiculous Christmas rush that we haven't had for the last 2 years? Have you been swept up in it all?
No, well, see, we've done our Christmas. We did our family Christmas on the weekend. We had a great weekend, hung out with the kids, did all our present swapping. And I highly recommend for anyone that might have 10 million places to go on Christmas Day, break it up, put your hand up and say to one lot of family, hey, how about we change the date and do it earlier or after or whatever? And a lot of people do, I think, with Christmas and Boxing Day. But we just sort of get in early. So we're all pretty fresh and have fun with it. And it works great. So the pressure's off now.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's great that you saw.
Yeah, so for me, but I get it, Tony. And being in retail, see, had my hair salon for 21 years. 21 years, December was the most loathed month of the year because you knew you were just going to be hammered. And by the time Christmas came, I was so exhausted for Christmas Day, I could barely talk. I just smile and wave because I couldn't talk anymore after being in the salon, doing 70-hour weeks leading up to Christmas just to get everyone in. It was nuts.
Absolutely. Hey, Karen's on board, Mel's on board. Hey, if you're out there listening in the wonderful world of the internet and Facebook, say g'day, jump on board. Just don't be one of those people just watch in the background. But if you want to do that, you can do that too. Karen's on board. Mel says thank you very much for her mug.
Oh, yes. I was out shopping yesterday and Mel popped in my head and I found this mug that said, what does it say, Mel? It's a shame you can't post a photo, Mel. Shelby's waiting for TNT as well. Shelby's somewhere because Shelby's been working, so she's really missed everybody. So she said to say hello to everybody.
Good to hear.
And Mel's mug says, unicorns are awesome. I am awesome. Therefore, I am a unicorn.
I like it, Mel.
I was like, Mel, this is so. As soon as I saw it, I went, Mel needs this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's been crazy. It's been hectic. I want to know how everybody's hecticness has been going. I'm gonna. You know what, Tonya? Imagine, TNT community, because it is a community, and we're all in this together. Imagine if we got somebody like a company like Audi being able to sponsor us. I don't know, like just with product. I don't know about you, Tonya. I'd be happy with product from Audi, but I'm going to give Audi a plug right now. Hey, Shelby's back on board. Good to see you. Mel's on board as well. Now let's go. This is my Audi plug to all the people out there that need to buy wrapping paper and Christmas cards, right? So Tonya, you've already done all this, but Audi have got 20 meters of wrapping paper for like under $5. It's something like $3 or $4. And I thought, bargain. That loved it. And they've got a unique Australian Christmas design where it's got kangaroos and koalas and all that with Santa hats on, all that kind of. Yeah,
it's a good idea.
They do.
I like bags. Stuff the wrapping.
They've got heaps of bags. They've got heaps of that. Audi's the place to go. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I think I am preaching to the converter, if all of us are a bit of a tight ass around Christmas and it comes to wrapping paper, like why would you want to spend $93 for a bit of wrapping paper? You don't want to. Go like $5 or less for 20 meters. This is where we're at. 20 meters. That should be enough to wrap me up because I'm a gift. Shelby, you're the greatest present your mother's ever received. Let me tell you that. And I'm an expert on that kind of stuff, Shelbs. But look, the fun doesn't stop there at Audi. if you want to get Christmas cards, and they're good Christmas cards, like they've got great designs, there's a few different boxes. You get 20 cards for 99 cents, ladies and gentlemen. 20 cards for 99 cents. I can't even work out the maths on that. That's how cheap it is. I got out my my abacus to work out how cheap that was. And even my abacus didn't have enough little balls on it to work it out. It just said, darn, that's cheap. Go to Aldi. And the other thing as well, whilst we're on the Aldi thing, look, I do this every year. I just get about 10 to 12 different boxes of Danish biscuits, right? The tins. Pretty cool. $4.49, Tonia Reeves.
Oh, bargain. People would think they were $15.
I know, and that's just the nice, hi, how are you? Here's a Christmas present just for our family, not to get complicated. So I hope somebody from Aldi is listening and we would like to get sponsored.
Anita, I had to share this one. Anita's put great time for manifesting your Aldi plug for this full moon.
Thank Anita. Om. Namaste and Om. We are one with Aldi. Anita, imagine that if they sponsored us, like it would be biscuits for everybody. It's so cool. Right? And when they bring the washing machines out or the rice cookers, mate, throw one of them in as well because they're great products.
Everyone gets the same present from Tony.
Yeah, everybody. It's from Aldi. Shit, yeah. My family knows. It ain't getting quality. You can wrap it. You can unwrap it quickly, slowly. It doesn't matter. It's still the same shit inside. And they know that. Your excitement ain't going to make my present any better. Vichka's on board.
It's a crazy time, isn't it? Shelby goes, let me guess, Tony, you go op shopping. Well, op shopping is recycling.
That's different, Shelbs. That's different. That's the let's not confuse a great bargain with somebody's hand-me-downs. That's sometimes very cool. And I have been to an op shop, don't get me wrong, to get some of those tweed jackets that people just throw away and they don't know the value of them. And when tweed comes back and velvet suits, Shelbs, I'm all over velvet suits. I'm back in vogue. I've got 17 of them at home. So
love it.
Here you go. So too much pressure just for one day. Yeah, Vichka goes in too much pressure for one day. And this is what Tonia was saying. Yeah, you might want to speak at this one. Tonia, you're pretty good at talking about pressure.
That's what I reckon. Like too much pressure for one day. Hell yes. If you've got to visit 2 to 5 different places on Christmas Day, that's just ridiculous. That's not called fun. That's called a schedule. And to me, put your hand up and say, let's break it up. Smash the Christmas Day myth and just do it every day. And a little bit, Anita's put in a great one there to say, that, it's about embracing it every day. It's about flow. It really is about flow. And if it's too much to go to everyone's house, like you will find to start with, the oldies will be like, oh, we don't want to change a day. We need to see you on the day. But when you do it and say, right, we're going to meet the week before, or we're going to change it to Boxing Day or whatever, when they see the results, they will be happy. So even if they start off reluctant, just go, you know what, I'm sick of racing around on Christmas Day. Let's, do it another day. It makes so much difference. We have so much fun on our Christmas, and it's because it's done with, we can then enjoy the rest of the month to not have that pressure. Because even if you don't think there's pressure, I honestly believe we feed into that energy where it is pressure and getting gifts. And, how many times do you forget that person or, oh my God, you have stuff going on that just becomes, just overwhelming. And I think December's overwhelming enough. We don't need it to be, we don't need to add to that. So I think do you, and if you need to change the day that you catch up with family, do it.
Love it. I totally agree. Can I just say a WTF? Jen, we don't have it here in Tassie, but remember it in Ireland, you can still get your Audi fixed, Tony. You get Audi and you get, I think it's Hoppers, the other one. Then they're brothers. They're both brothers and they're same branding and everything. But
isn't that interesting? So Tassie doesn't have Audi at all.
Audi.
Wow.
Jen, I just like to say this is like a grief moment. This is like, Jen, I just like to say I really know how you feel. It's not, if you knew how good Audi was, like you can go in.
It's not that good.
Jen, you could go in with the intentions of buying some crackers or some biscuits and that, and you'll walk out with a stereo and a TV because it's so cheap. Like
And that
Jen,
TV will last you just after warranty usually. Oh,
doesn't
actually,
matter.
sometimes within warranty.
It's every
And then
day. Every day is Christmas at Audi. Doesn't matter what time of the year. Jen, I think we should have a fund that we actually put our money together and build an Audi in Tasmania just for Jen. That's really sad. That's mostly the saddest Christmas news I've ever heard. Sorry, it would just take me a little while to get over it. But Natasha's got some great news. Been a great start to December so far. Had my partner's son graduating grade 6 last night. Hey, congratulations. Well done. Well done.
that's so cool. And they're the fun bits, aren't they? The graduations and the productions and all that happens this time of year. That is great fun. And
Yep,
even
love
if
it,
it's
Tash.
got a busy day ahead, helping with the preschool Christmas Christmas parties at schools and kinders, you name it. Everyone's celebrating Christmas in different ways, shape, or forms.
I like your priorities tour, Vichka. It's good. It's like, stuff it. We'll just have a coffee and cake and hang out with TNT crew. It's always good to hang out with
Love
our
it. Thanks,
community, isn't it,
Vichka.
Vichka? Yeah. Now, going back to op shops, just here you go. This is one for Shelby. Tash puts in, love op shopping. Found a digital camera the other week for $4. That is bloody brilliant. I got to say, well done, Tash. Does it work? It's a bonus, but I imagine if it worked as well for $4, that is pretty cool. Love it. And thank you. Yes, Anita goes, peace be your Danish biscuits. Yes. Tell you now, Anita, they work. What else we got? Hey, Kathy's on board. How are you, Kathy? All the way from America. How is it over there?
Is Lloyd at work? I haven't seen Lloyd pop up, so he might be working. Hey, Kathy, I like the photo of the puppy dog. Beautiful.
It's cute, isn't it? Is
It
that like
cute.
What is it? Tonia, you're good with these things.
Oh, it looks like a little Jack Russell cross. It's got a bit of fluffy tail. Over here, we call them
Jack Russell
or miniature foxy.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see what over in America. What sort of puppy dog? I would say a little bit of a mixed breed, but Kathy
very
could
cute,
probably confirm that.
Kathy, how is that? We just had actually I just had a client walk in and also a friend come to their clinic. She just flew back in from the States and she's American. She's got the coolest job in the world, Tonia. She flies private jets around for millionaires. That's all she does. It's such a cool job, right? So she just came back from the States, and Kathy, she had to go out. She, like being an American, she actually thought she had enough warm clothes. She actually landed and had to go to the stores and buy a warmer jacket. It's that cold. So, Kathy, I wonder how you're doing over there with winter coming in, and it must be feeling like Christmas a little bit. Lloyd is resting. Thanks for the compliment on my canine. He's a
Papillion. Yeah, beautiful. It's hard to see in the photo, but gorgeous. They're a gorgeous dog.
Nice.
Hey, Bridget. Good morning.
See, Kathy would be getting a proper taste of Christmas because it's snowing and that. And whereas here, Kathy, you know what we get? We just get warmer sunny days. We're wearing shorts and T-shirts. We get the sunscreen out, Kathy. It's totally a different vibe here, let me tell you that. But you know what's funny too, Tonia? Speaking to people that are either from America or from Europe, and you ask them, they've been here for 10, 15 years, and they go, can you ever get used to in December that it's actually warm and it's not cold anymore? And all of them can't get their heads around it, even after 10 years of being in this country. Wow. Yeah, it's
so you'll get to celebrate a white Christmas, Tony, won't you? Because will it be snowing over there when you go?
Apparently it is. They've got a cold snap coming through. We spoke to all his family last night. It was -6 degrees. So, yeah.
Wow. So Shelby's got to put in some good travel ideas. Shelby, give a plug for your workplace too. Shelby works in a travel, like it's elite travel throughout the world, and she's having a ball, and it's so up her alley to be loving it.
So she's not doing hair?
No.
Shelby. Look at you,
Shelby
girl.
can tell us the best places to go, the 5-star places throughout the world. Amazing.
Shelbs, I've got to book some accommodation in Bali coming up tail end of January. I want a plunge pool as well. So I want one of those hotel rooms with a plunge pool. Only for 2 or 3 days. Let's not go crazy on the price, Shelbs, Look after Uncle Tone.
Shelby's elite travel, so it's probably $5,000 a night.
Shelby, let's not muck around. You know me well enough. we've been out for dinner with family. You know what I'm like with paying the bill. All right. So you start putting a $5,000 bill in front of me for your resort. You know what I want to tell you to do? Let's look after Uncle Tony. He's a good guy. Here you go. Karen's got one. Are we allowed to write this one out? Hey, Tonia.
Oh, is that?
Oh, read Karen's still ones. I like Karen. I like this share. This is now we've got some juice. Let's go.
Oh, we've had some incredible connections this last few weeks, actually, which is interesting. So Karen's put in, hey, Tonia, what you told me earlier this year did happen. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I connected for Karen.
Oh, what are you surprised for? You actually said that as you were surprised.
Yeah, I'm always surprised. I'm always like, really? Thank you. I love feedback.
You're supposed to know this shit.
I know that's what people say. They go, you should know. That's why you don't get feedback, because people go, oh, we don't need to tell you because you're psychic and you know. Well, no, it's not my information. So I do love feedback because it's like, it's great to validation. I love it.
Sorry,
the stepdaughter from hell conspired with her mother in a very nasty way and moved back to her mother's place last Friday. You told me she'd be back with her mum by the end of the year. This girl and her mum were both really nasty to my partner and have shown their true colours. He's a typical male and not showing how hurt he is, but I can see it. We can now breathe. So you need to, Karen, you need to say, we're selling up, we're buying a one-bedroom place and she can't come
back. Problem solved. That is a great share. Karen, thanks for that. I mean, like you can see.
Thank you.
Yeah. It gives you confirmation that you're on the right track too, Tonia, which is always nice. On a serious note, I think it's very important.
Lovely to hear. Yeah. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, Jen wants an IKEA in Tassie. Jen, no, no IKEA for you. Do you know what? IKEA is Satan lives at the end of IKEA, and it's the pathway to hell.
Alan Key, right? It's called Alan Kia.
Alan Kia, that's right. I like that. No, Jen, there's a reason why IKEA is not in Tassie, because we love Tasmanians. We need to keep you alive. Don't wish for an IKEA.
The murder rate's lower down there because of it.
The amount of divorces that happen. Oh, we've got newlywed couples, Tonia, coming into IKEA. By the time they get out of it, they're divorced and they've got it's not good.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Kathy's put here, Lloyd's back at work, but they've had the flu really badly. Oh, ooh. Wow.
Is COVID coming back in over there, Kathy? I'm curious.
Loaded with various bugs. So we've all been, when you wear masks and we've all been isolated, then we go back out. Of course, we had the same here. Everyone was catching everything. Oh,
yeah, 100%. There is. Hey, Bridget's on board as well. Hello, Bridget. Tell me what's going on, Bridget. You haven't really. You've been really polite, Bridget. Haven't really been sharing as much. So what's been going on? How's Christmas looking? How's Tony doing? Do share.
Let's see.
Have you heard about the new law in Bali, Tony? No, I haven't, Tash. What is the new law?
Yeah, I haven't either, Tash. I'm not up with
what tight asses aren't allowed. Mate, that means all the Australian tourists are gone. There's no 20 Aussies going to Bali.
Anita's sending a healing, Kathy, for you and Lloyd to help. It's a lot to get over, and as we get older, we don't bounce back like we did when we were 18. So yeah,
check this out, Miss Shelby. Tony, and she says it. Look, your daughter's just served me a very matter-of-fact comment. Oh my God, this job's changed you, Shelby. Tony, these clients are paying $250,000 for a month holiday. In other words, don't waste her time. I'm reading your shelves. Jeez, I've been served a very cold dish of go shove it.
Oh, there we go. You got to be married. Tony, this is...
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
Anyone that wants to be married, that's the place to go.
I've done worse.
Wedding. Can't have sex unless you're married in Bali. I haven't heard that one.
Oh, really?
It can only be reported by your parents or partner.
Is that a serious
thing? If someone's waiting to be proposed to, that's the place. Book it in.
Jesus Christ, Shelves, I'm not going to do it for 250,000. You're kidding me. Look after Uncle Tone. See, look, where is it? See the grey hairs? They weren't here before the show, but as soon as you put that price up, boom, they all came out. Look what you're doing to me, Shelves. Help a brother out. Okay.
You can't have any sex with your partner if you're not married. Otherwise, it's up to a year in Bali jail.
A year's not too bad.
Yeah, compared to many years of marriage.
Can you imagine? You're sitting around in jail, Tonya, like everybody, and then you got this thing where you've got these really hardcore criminals, and they're going, "What are you in for?" "I'm in for murder, or I robbed a bank, or I did this, that, the other." And I'm sitting there in the end, I go, "I slept with my wife." It just, yeah, I'm going to be somebody's bitch in that prison, that's for sure. That's easy.
Crazy. And Kathy's also put COVID still around. They've had their vaccinations and flu shots, but still got sick. I think, it doesn't. I think we're just building immunity back up.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Trish, I just read this. My apologies, Trish. She goes, "Good morning. Good to have you on the community too, by the way. I recently lost my mum and I'm struggling in a world of pain. Would love any messages, please. Thank you." Oh, Trish, that's yeah, I really feel for you on that one, especially coming up now around Christmas time and everything like that. And with any messages, it's the best thing to do, Trish. We don't, Tonya doesn't actually do that on this feed. This is more of a, we can look after your emotional needs. But if you want to get a message from mum, best thing is just private message Tonya, and you can have a reading with her. That's the best way to do that. And then you can have a good quality session, just you and Tonya and your mum, and really get to connect. That's a nice way of doing it. Okay. But yeah, my condolences and my heart goes out to you, Trish. That's a really tough one. We've got a few what is it, orphans on this show now, don't we? Where we're parentless.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's a hard time, Christmas time, their birthdays, your birthday, but mum would definitely be around, Trish. So, that's one thing that, as a medium, as part of our role, is just to give you that evidence that they are still around. So as hard as it is for us to pull ourselves up and keep moving on, mum will be giving you signs. So, look out for those, because 100% they do. They don't want to see you. They don't want to see us suffering. They really don't.
No.
So the times that a struggle, like Christmas and birthdays and anniversaries, they'll definitely be giving you signs. We just need to sometimes take a deep breath and start to notice what's going on around us. So that would be one thing I would be doing, because you'll be getting signs. And anything that you go, that's a coincidence, just cross it off the list and go, no, that's mum connecting, because she will be.
Yeah, that's such great advice, Tonya. Your mum and dad don't want to see you down and out. No, live your life. Think about the happy times. But let's not discard either that it is a painful thing to go through. So if you feel sad and upset, that's a normal thing, and you should embrace that. And it's just one way of saying that I miss you and I love you. That's what every tear brings. So yeah, embrace that kind of stuff. I'd be really concerned if somebody had somebody pass away and they go, "Oh, who gives a shit?" That would really freak me out. Yeah. Yeah. That's to me not a normal reaction. If you love somebody, then yeah, it is going to be painful.
And even Ivichka's put second year without her mum, still a bit surreal. Yeah, and they do. And it doesn't always, people go, it eases with time. Not always, there's still that connection that you've had and all those memories that come up. And, it's important to accept those.
Second year, Vichka, it's still, it's fun. How long has it been for you, Tonya, you reckon?
For me, it was 2009.
Yeah, so I was going to say about 10 years. So yeah, you're 12, 13 years.
Yep.
And how is it for you in comparison to, would it be the same? I mean, like if it's just going through year two.
It's kind of like I feel, and I always say to people, grief is a unique journey, and we all do it differently. So we need to be mindful of that. So sometimes your interpretation isn't everybody's. So I am very much aware of that. But with mum, I have found it has got easier, but it still doesn't stop those moments coming up where you miss them, or there'll be something that triggers that to go back to when they were around, and it leads you into that missing them and feeling emotional about it. So I believe there'll always be times of that coming up, But for me, it shifted the dynamic. Like, I still connect with mum, and and that's not just because I'm a medium, but I do follow the signs from mum, and I do notice the energy shift when she's around. And I believe we can all do that. So that's not just because of what I do. In fact, you guys can probably do it better because you're not in that zone all the time like I am. And sometimes I have to shut that down, so that limits the time that you're open up to the messages from spirit. But yeah, my mum's often around and I sense her, and I have a dialogue with her. So when things are going down, or there's stuff happening in the family, I will call on her to help me and say, hey, I need help here. Can you, sort this out or help with this issue? I'm always having that dialogue. So yeah, it's not the same as if they were physically around. 100% not the same. But we I suppose it's part of that journey is to go, well, okay, they're not physically here, but now we've got a different relationship. You still have a relationship, that they're still around, not totally gone. So just remember that.
That's a really good point. That really is. Anita's very quick on the feed here today. I like the sharpness of Anita here today. She's not missing a beat here. Shelby Reeves. She says, how do I get in contact with these clients, the $250,000 a month clients? They may need personal holistic healer for the month. I like the tact. I like it. It's quite clever.
I love it. And Sean's put, like, Sean always brings a smile, like going on to, we need the dad jokes. And Sean, you never let us down.
No, what's he got? What do you call a reindeer with no eyes? I have no idea.
Boom.
Sean. Comedy gold is what we call that, Sean. Just sorry, in the delivery, it should have been better. But hilarious. I love it. Please keep them coming.
And also I want to bring up Sean's other one here that, which is a great reminder for those missing your loved ones, that bake a treat she would make and listen to some music or watch a movie that brings back good memories. So that's a lovely way to celebrate your loved one over Christmas.
Yeah, look, it's a nice thing. Sean, you bring up a really nice one. I was going to say before, but you've really tapped in there quite well, especially with Avichka and everybody else who's missing, a loved one during Christmas. It's a really nice thing that you're doing, Sean, because what Sean's talking about is what you're talking about before, Tonia, is like connecting with your loved ones through spirit. And this is a way to do it because, I don't know, you know better than anybody else, Tonia, but more than likely they'll want to hang out with you at that point. Like, that they're like, for me, it's Christmas Eve, Sean. So I'll do something where I'll have a moment to remember mum and dad, because that was our family time. That was quite sacred for us. So, whether it's have a cup of tea, have a cake, like we always had cakes. So that was a big thing in our family. If there was a sugar god, we would have signed up, Sean. Do you know what I mean? Like a cake god, we would have had a shrine the size of a house for cake god. So yeah, we do something like that, and a bit of music-wise, Sean, we'll put on Boney M. There you go. It's just a little bit of information there for you, ladies and gents. So it's a nice one, Sean. I love it. I think everybody should take a leaf out of Sean's book. I think it's very, very good.
And Kathy's put here, song was played at my nephew's funeral, comes on the radio, and I know he's with me. Miss him a bunch. Yeah. And they're the kind of messages, wow. The random songs, the memories that come up, and I say for all of us, and maybe all of you listening today, it's our reminder that when our loved ones come through, they want to share the memories, they want to share the fun. So that's our reminder to remember that we need to be having fun for ourselves in this lifetime. Because Absolutely. They do not come back and say, I owned a Ferrari, or I owned a bunch of condominiums, or, I spent millions on a holiday. Shelves.
Yeah, that's true.
They come through with the memories. They come through with the fun, with the essence of who they are. And I think to honour them in the highest degrees, to remember that we don't know how long we're here for, but let's make it a great one. Let's make it great.
Yeah, so that's a nice little reminder, actually.
Yeah, when it's our turn to cross over, we can come back with those funny things that happen, those memories, that, all of those things that make people laugh, that, it still can create fun. So I think that's a really big reminder. And sometimes we can lose a bit of sight of that by, in part of our journey of grieving for others, we also want to remember that they're connecting with us, with those memories. And that's all we take with us. We can't take anything material. We can't take, there's so much that we can't take with us when we move on into the next chapter. And, that enjoying life is a really powerful way to, to bring that sense of fun and love for what you do.
Absolutely. I love it. Look, Bridget says here, she goes, it still hurts 36 years without my dad. That's a long time, Bridget. Yeah. And I know you lost dad at a very young age. So that's got to really hurt. I wonder if you've got any rituals or anything you do, like Sean suggested, to remember him during Christmas time. And Tasha comes up as well. She goes, it's been 16 years without my mum. And that's got to hurt as well. So it's amazing how things happen and how they all unfold after a little while. And then
Jen's put 9 years,
9 years, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was so windy. He always complained about the wind, especially if wanted to go fishing. Even his funeral was so windy. So it's a running joke. See, they're the things, the funny little things, and that's what I find, and I try and keep that to the back of my mind as well. Is when we're here in life, the annoying things that they did, become the things we miss. And so sometimes when you're nagging at somebody to change, or, they're frustrating you, somebody that's around you, might be family or whatever, that frustration, look at it and go, if they weren't there, you wouldn't have that and you'd miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, you would. You absolutely would. It's crazy as. What's the other
Nick's
thing?
Nick's got a beautiful share here too.
Yeah.
In the process of clearing out his sister, Nick's sister was amazing, Leah, taken way too soon, and who passed 17 months ago. I feel honoured to fulfil her wishes by giving her things away to her family and friends, and to keep her memory alive in everyone. I love that. You're like the Santa who's keeping Leah's memory alive, Nick. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is really cool, actually. I like that, Nick. That's a really good share. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very nice, very powerful. I quite like that a lot. Here, I'm just going to quickly go to, where was it? I think it was Anita. I had one. Where was it? Oh, Anita puts in here, good question. Can I ask Tony for any tips and tricks from the Human Repair Shop to get us through this crazy time for our health and healing?
Yes.
Look, that's a good question, Anita. Going through the craziness of what we're going through at the moment. Look, let's all remember we're actually out of, we're not Christmas conditioned, if I can call it that, because we've had 2 years of COVID where we haven't had to rush around and everything. And, one of the strategies that you could use really easily, it feels like you're in a rush and you've got no time to do anything and you've got rushing here and there and here and there. A really good, healthy thing to do is have a look at your calendar or your diary and just have a look at the gaps where you do have absolutely nothing to do. And in those gaps, so it might be half an hour, half a day, a couple of hours, whatever, is that you actually stop and be present in that 1 hour or that 30 minutes or that half a day and just chill out with no agenda, right? And just, so if you have a little bit of a structure through mayhem tends to work. It gives you a bit of sanity and it gives you a little bit of control back, because up until Christmas, it feels like you're out of control, that you'll be pulled in 5,000 different directions. You're going to be very, very time poor, and you got to rush the shop and then get in touch with that person, go to this function, go to that function, whatever it may be. So with all that racing, you go, wait, what chilled out time have I got? That's mostly the simplest one that I could do. And the other one is the flip side of it is, Anita, you got to ride through the storm as well. That's the other thing as well. But enjoy it as you're doing it. Have fun. Don't make it like a chore. You go, how cool, okay, I'm going to go. Like the other day, I went to the shops and went to Aldi. They better bloody hell, Aldi, honestly. I really want sponsorship.
Need sponsors. Aldi, I think.
Like, bro. Huh? We've got a good community.
Product of the week.
Yeah, and everybody will get one on the feed, Tonia. One of my favorite ones is the dark chocolate with the brandy and the cherry in it. Those chocolates are very European. I love that, mate.
Oh, yuck! Yeah,
yeah, it's a very ethnic thing, and I'm proud of it, mate. Beautiful. I would have had that as product of the week this week. Coming into Christmas, get these box of cherry brandy chocolates, mate. Perfect for Christmas. Great around the Christmas tree. Mwah. See, Audi, you can't even do it like that. Give us a sponsorship gig. So enjoy what you do. But I did go to Audi and I loved it. So I embraced the whole thing. And instead of being negative, I turned it into a good fun thing. So try to make it as fun as you can, because Christmas is about being fun and not being about stressed. You're going to have stressful moments. So they're the two things. Try to have a look at where your gaps and try to enjoy the moment for what it is. Yeah, instead of making it a bourbon. A bourbon. Absolutely. Can I have a bourbon, please? Hey. A burden.
Hey, Rachel. Someone was asking who's done Christmas shopping. Who's finished? I'm finished because our Christmas is out of the way, so done, dusted. Somebody was asking who's finished Christmas shopping. I thought that's a good question. And also, don't forget, we've got a full moon tonight, releasing all that crap. Like go last full moon before Christmas.
Oh,
or of the year, I should say.
Here you go. Avichka goes, even though my mum, have we talked about this one yet? Even though my mum and I didn't have the best relationship here, I do miss her. It's bittersweet. I just ask her to look over us, especially the little ones, as I'm not ready to connect to her directly yet. And hopefully next year I'll be ready to make the special Christmas cookies and food. Tonia, have you ever come across that before? That's a really interesting one.
Oh, absolutely. Well, a little bit like, I suppose, Tony, when I was at the shop and we connected for the lovely client of yours, whose mum, there was that little bit of an estranged connection, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Yeah, 100%.
So what happens then is you shift the dynamic a little bit. So, Christmas time for her might have been that struggle with, I sort of miss the mum, or you yearn for the mum that you wanted that maybe you didn't get, or might be dad, or might be another family member. And, and I think it's okay to feel that. Like, it's okay to feel that, wishing for that better connection. But I also feel that the more we can sit in that offering up forgiveness or understanding of that person, and it doesn't condone what they've done to you or how they made you feel, but the more we can sit in that, the more at peace we feel with it. And I think for the most part, it's about us being at peace. Like, you're not going to change that dynamic if it wasn't ideal, but we can, move forward with going, okay, I might just light a candle in memory, and that might be a start. I'm just going to put a candle there. I didn't, I like my mum. I didn't maybe love her, but, I love my mum, but maybe we didn't have that great relationship. But you know what? I'm going to change that dynamic. And I often get spirit will come through, once they have passed with that message of, I'm sorry, I didn't do a great job. They put their hand up in a lot of cases, not all of them, but in a lot of cases they do. And, they will then do what they can from the other side for you. So sometimes it's about that dynamic changes, they pass over and they're really up there being, your very active cheerleader. So that's when you say, okay, I know you couldn't, and it's just getting it through your head. Like, they did the best they could. So everyone comes from an upbringing, comes from experiences, comes from a past, and, we do the best we can. And sometimes I feel, like we choose our parents. So what lesson have we learned? Like, what have we come here to learn? And if they weren't ideal as parents, if they had their flaws, what is it that we came to learn from that? Yep. And that helps us be able to just make that step forward, a little bit more. So as 100%. Hard as it is to understand, and there's no perfect exact science, but sometimes I think if we can look at things a bit differently, and I think it's a great one, Avichka, to share, because many people have that dynamic in the family.
Yeah, look, I think it is a really good share, actually. It's interesting, Tonia. And Avichka, I was actually there at that when Tonia did the mediumship show up here in Sydney, because I was in my clinic, but I was there where that lady asked to connect with her mum. And it was similar to your story, Avichka, that bittersweet relationship. And I think for her, Tonia, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the things that was, and this is, I think, might be going through Avichka's head, was, why was it bittersweet? Why? And I think that the client that was in here was basically, she wanted a bit of resolve there. She wanted to actually go, why were you a difficult mum, or why didn't you? And then that's what she wanted the answers to. And it was interesting how there was a shift in her where, like, this weight had been taken off her shoulders, where she got to connect with mum, and her mum actually apologized for a whole lot of things and gave her the why that she was looking for through Tonia. And it was amazing. So Avichka, it's really, what the thing I like about Avichka here is, although it was bittersweet, she's still putting in the effort to actually go, I want to understand how I can connect with mum and maybe why it didn't work. The flip side of that, Avichka, is stuff for mum. I hate her guts. She was a shit mum. I want to have nothing to do with her. You're going the opposite, which I actually quite like. She's trying to work out the connection, which is a really powerful journey. It's a painful one too, Avichka, but I really, really, really respect where you're coming from on that. It's pretty cool.
I love this share too from Mel. On my dad's death anniversary, I asked for a sign, pulled into the servo for fuel, and I see a number plate in front of me. I love pinned. My dad's rude sense of humour shone through and gave me a good laugh. And that's the thing, nice. They'll do that, you know. We often get that. There'll be those signs, you know, and Kathy shared another one. She saw her dad's initials on a vehicle in front of me when I was thinking about him.
Yep.
You know, and he's got rather unique initials. So they're the things. They go to a lot of trouble to give us the signs.
I love that, how they do. I love how they give signs. It's such a bit, and I like how Mel's shared that. That's pretty cool, Mel. That's very, very cool. It's a good laugh. You would have a good chuckle to yourself. Really, Avichka, just on the, she goes, who's done their Christmas shopping and all that? Avichka, I'm telling you now, just go to Aldi. Like, you've missed the beginning of this show. Mate, I've got wrapping paper, Christmas cards, tins of biscuits, and I've got the salt, the caramel salted chocolates as well. They're boxes of that. Mate. They're under $5. Bitch could get in there. Seriously. Throw caution to the wind and pick up a washing machine as well. I think they're on sale as well.
And Jack your favourite.
Jack Murphy Murdoch. Top of the morning to you.
There's a very old Italian song that's not on the radio top 10, and when it comes on, if I'm sad, I know who it is, and it's so feeling very blessed, and that's awesome. That's the kind of thing, cool. You know. And if I had $1 for every time I heard those stories, like, you know, it just, you hear it so much, and it's just great that you're aware of it. And that's, you know, to me, when we're present and we're listening and looking for the signs, that's when we'll find them.
Yep. I like that. That's a great share. I like that, Miss Jack Murphy Murdoch.
And I have to share Kim's, because Kim put in, she's feeling sad that there's no supercars.
Oh, I love that. You shared that with me. It's brilliant. Tonia, are you going to?
I want to say a big shout out, thank you to Kim. Kim created this. Kim met my other half, and I think it was supercars on the same weekend as MBS or the weekend before. Kim's an absolute Holden lover. My partner, no, he's a Ford fan. So Kim's created this folder, and she's gone to great lengths. She's made every picture in here. I did warn her that anything she sends to do with Holden might be burnt, but Andrew was so impressed with the work that she'd done. She's put in every supercar round and also the MBS dates for us to catch up. And I just want to say, Kim, he was blown away. So he's keeping this. He's going to put it on the wall, and he's going to put a red cross every time Shane loses. So that's his.
Absolutely. I love it. It was so cool. You actually shared that with me, and I had such a good laugh watching the videos of Andrew opening it up and going through it. Great. A lot of energy.
He secretly loves it. Like, he doesn't get the attention when we're on the road, and, you know, it's all about me and doing shows and that kind of thing. And he was very, like, he gets very chuffed when, you know, he connects with some of those that I get to catch up with, and Kim is one of those. So yeah, he was very chuffed that she went to that effort. Very impressed. Nice. Thank you.
It is pretty cool. No, it's great. Kathy says here, she goes, Audi is great here too. See, I'm telling you, Kath, we've got this sponsorship internationally now. But parking is usually a problem. Love that a lot of the stuff comes from Germany. I know, it's great, right? It is. And Avichka puts in here, all this Audi talk makes me think and smile, as my mum had everything Audi. So thank you. Your mum was a genius. Avichka, your mum was a born genius. She knew a good thing when she was onto it. You know, you can have your fresh food people, Woolies, blah, blah, blah. You can't get a 55-inch television screen at Woolworths, can you? No, on special. You can't get surround sound speakers at Woolworths, can you?
We bought one telly from Audi.
Good on yous. Well done.
That lasted 2 months. I took it back. Money back, thank you. Rubbish.
Like that.
It was rubbish. Maybe they've improved. I'm not doing great for your sponsorship here, Tony.
Just drop the expectations, and Audi's great.
I don't like buying biscuits that look like shapes and they're tastes like crap.
Hey,
That's what I find. It looks a
once you
lot
get
like,
used
but it
to
does
it,
not taste like.
yeah, but once you get used to that taste, you'll never go back to anything else. It's hard to replicate. Here you go. Jack Murphy Murdoch's got a nice one. Just a little bit up there. She, as in the feed. Yeah, go for it. Read it out, Tom.
Also, when I was 6, I lost my mum. Gee, wow, Jack, that's massive.
Yeah.
Very angry she left me. Now I may be 50-something, but in my journey, I have many adopted mums along the way, and I love my mum. I now understand more. That's a beautiful share,
Yeah.
Jack, and that's hard at the age of 6. Wow, that's massive
yeah.
loss.
Would you do a reading for Jack Murphy Murdoch and do a connection on that? Because that's an interesting one, Jack Murphy Murdoch. That there's a lot of, I know you've learned a lot and you understand more, but it just feels like there's just a missing piece there for you somehow. I don't know what it is.
Well, at 6, that's a really massive loss, and I love the fact she's got many adopted mums along the way. And that's so beautiful. And Jack's pretty intuitive, so I don't doubt that she would be, connecting with her mum on that spiritual level and noticing the signs. And sometimes it's hard when you're so young, but often, when you set that intention of still keeping that connection strong, there'll be, someone will share a memory about a mum, and things that you don't realise. That and how they were, because it's hard at that age to remember them very clearly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's an interesting one. It is, and it is a bit. It sounds like you've been on an amazing journey there. I wonder what what I'm curious about. She goes, I now understand more. I wonder what you understand more of now. What is it that what's become clearer for you? I suppose the question is.
Well, I think Jack's covered this, and Shelby just mentioned it too. It is very common to be angry when someone dies, and that's something as humans we don't feel at ease stating. We don't feel at ease sharing that we were angry that someone passed, because in most of the cases they can't help it. So our common thing is, we feel really sad for them, but but we don't share that we get angry. And I think we need to share that sometimes we're angry. Sometimes it's directed at that person, but it's actually about the situation around them going. And it is far more common than we realize, but no one talks about it. So I'm really rapt that that Jack's brought it up and Shelby's brought it up, and and even Avichka, like that anger is a normal feeling that sometimes we suppress.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
it is an interesting one. Anger is an interesting one when people pass away. I've seen it happen in my family. Where certain people got angry when somebody passed away, and I was like, that sort of like was weird for me. It was sort of like, I understood it from a counselling point of view, but I was like, really? I was like, oh, okay. But that it's subjective, isn't it? Everybody's going to react differently. Yeah, and that's where I think your line of work, Tonia, can bring a lot of peace and resolution to a lot of things there as well. That's for sure. Kathy remembers, you're not old, Kathy, you're in the prime of your life, my dear friend, when candles were about 12 cents each back in the 80s.
12 cents. That's crazy, isn't it, to think that?
I wonder if it was beans or refried beans, because we get beans like from Italy, Kathy, over here in Australia for like 99 cents or sometimes less. You can get them for 89 cents. A good day, you'll pick them up for 77. They're good days. They're good days. So I wonder if it's the same in America. 12 cents, they were good old days, weren't they? Packet of pasta, 59 cents. Things like that. Well, why don't we bring back the old prices? It's Christmas.
Oh, I know, because we don't get cents anymore. We don't even have two cents, or do we? Even 5 cents are becoming not a reality.
No, $49.95. You can go shove it. It's $50.
That's right.
Don't trick me with those prices, people. You tell the supermarkets next time, 99 cents. It's $1. There's no such thing as 1 cent. What do you frustrate for me? Mel's on board.
I reckon it's psychology, but I think now we see 99 cents and we round it up.
Yep, absolutely.
Kathy has a question. Is it normal
Go
to
for it.
think you've seen your loved one after they have passed, like in a crowd or momentarily?
Oh,
100%.
yeah, Kathy, great question. Yep, let's go with it, Tonya. Like, answer that.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's like there's a part of us that still feels they're alive. You know, it's often death can be surreal, and that can be that, oh my God, there they are, you know, because we look for them. And I think often that's subconscious. We look
yep,
for them, or we notice, you know, oh, somebody from back on, we think, oh my God, that's the person. Because I do
yeah,
believe that's part of our subconscious wanting them to still be here. And so we see
really.
them everywhere. But that can also be them delivering a message to say I'm still around as well. So, you
Okay.
know, you've got both of those dualities that you know, that could be part of, you know, what you're experiencing. And
Yeah,
you know, even Rachel's put here, absolutely, this happens to me a lot. So many of my clients have said the same. So, you know, that is very, very common, Kathy, to go, oh my God, there's such and such. But also, I often think when that happens, to just take a moment to remember them, and there might be other signs in amongst that.
yeah, yeah. Rachel says absolutely. This happens a lot to me. So many of my clients have said they've experienced it. Yeah, look, one that pops to my head, Rachel and Tonya and everybody else. This is a good share, Kathy. Thanks for that. It's a great question. My personal trainer. See what happened to my biceps? If he's listening now, Hayden, who passed away about 31 or 32 years of age, these biceps have gone down, brother, because you're not at the gym anymore. We actually did our boot camp and that. They had a distinct look. And there's so many times where I've been at a supermarket and I've gone, oh shit, that's Hayden. And then it's a splitting image of him. And it's happened more than once where I reckon it's happened at least 10 times that I've seen somebody that I thought was him. And it's only him. He's the only one I've had. So I wonder if, for you guys, for Kathy and Rachel and the clients and all that, is it one particular person or is it many different? That would be really interesting.
I think it'd be random people in a crowd.
Yeah.
That's what I'm picking up from what Kathy shared.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. It's a bit of a surreal thing, but it is. And like Rachel shared, I think it's also a way they show us that they're still with us. So
Yeah. Okay.
no, yeah, 100%. It's like
I'm
that
just thinking,
memory.
did I owe Hayden any money? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I fixed it. Like, dude,
Well, he might come
seriously.
through with a message if you did.
Because I'm pretty sure I fixed up before you passed away.
Love it.
But hey, you know what? This is an interesting. I want to go to Avichka here. She goes, I'm still angry at mum, but it's getting easier through the weekly counselling and Reiki sessions as well. And that's a really good share as well. Like talking about the passing of a mum, which is quite a while ago, but it's good that you're working on it. And I suppose, when you're angry, Avichka, that the thing I'd be asking is, what would take the anger away? What do you need to hear, see, or feel for you to be at peace? And sometimes it's, letting go of that attachment to what you're looking for. Like, is it an apology? Is it an explanation? Is it recognition? I don't know what it is for you. And that's what you're working through at the moment. I think the quicker you can get down to the core of it, of what will take this anger away, the quicker you'll get there. I honestly think, of Vichka, if you haven't done it, I'd book in with Tonya and do a session if you haven't already done that. Only because I've seen what it's done to somebody else. And that's only one case I'm talking about, a Vichka, so it's not guaranteed to be that great for everybody. But yeah, that would be my 2 cents.
And I also think that sometimes we need to be okay and in allowance that it's okay to have that anger. We don't want to park up there. And Nikki shared a good one here. It's not a good emotion to have. It's only a personal attack on self. Yeah, I think if you hang on to it, it becomes detrimental in our well-being. So we want to be able to feel that anger. But I also feel there's the balance to that, to say it's okay. Don't feel guilty about feeling angry, because that's often, as humans, we don't feel we have a right to be angry because we were brought up that anger isn't a positive thing. And I think we need that balance. And I think that's kind of what Nikki's put it in this share, to say we don't want to attack ourselves or make ourselves wrong. And that's
But
often as
yeah,
humans, we make ourselves wrong, and we feel wrong or we feel less than because we go, oh, I feel really angry at my mum and I shouldn't. Like it's like that, oh, I shouldn't be feeling that. Whereas I feel like we need to acknowledge that it's okay to feel that.
yeah. And don't forget, like anger itself will lead to hate. And then hate will lead to the dark side. That's a quote from Star Wars from Yoda. Get onto it, people. It's a true quote, though.
Absolutely.
That's all I got to say. It's true, though. One will feed the other. You know that good old that thing, that old saying where there's the Indian chief and the son, and they go, there feels like there's two wolves inside of me. One's the angry wolf, and the other one's the really nice wolf, and this, that, the other, and they're going to get into a fight. And then he goes, chief, who's gonna survive? And he goes, it's the one that you feed the most.
Absolutely. Good share, Tony. Love it. Mel asked Rachel about her car. So Rachel got her car that she asked about last week, and Rachel had no signs, and then she got the car, and then she went, the clutch went. And I went, how many times do we do that? We go, right, give us the sign. We'll ask everyone, what do you think? And then we go, oh, we'll just do it anyway. But I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure that Rachel, it'll be fixable and you can get it up and running. So, yeah. But it is a reminder, and Rach knows it's the same as me. Like, we're in an industry where, to me, you've got to have the signs. If there's no signs, that's a no. And we often don't listen to that, or we go, oh, no, it'll be fine. And that's when things, turn a bit pear-shaped. But it's a good reminder for everyone on this feed that ask for signs. If you're going to make a decision on something, get the signs. If you don't get the signs, go next. Because it honestly is that's how we get them.
Jack Murphy
Pete,
Murdoch's
2-minute warning. I love
too.
it, Pete. We've missed you. It's Pete doing with himself right on the 2-minute mark. Nick's put in here with anger. I find the moment you accept that you cannot change the person or situation and you change your own perception, we find true peace. I love it. I love it, Nick. That's a great share.
Yeah. It is. It's a lot of good shares here this morning. And Pete, good to have you on board, mate. I was just reading back here with Jack Murphy Murdoch. She goes, okay, one example to show you why I understand. A boy I liked at school, but didn't know he was a player. They're all players, Jack Murphy Murdoch. That's why you girls have to rein us in. Years later, I asked him why he never asked me out. And to my surprise, he said that a voice said, not my little girl. That sounded like mum. That's quite funny. That's a really good share. I like that, Jack Murphy Murdoch. That's very cool.
Great share.
It's very fun. And I like that you can laugh about it because it is pretty cool. Mel goes in, oh, bummer. Dodgy people really irk me when you're selling something. Should be yeah. Look out for the scammers this week. I'll tell you about how I almost got ripped off this week from a scammer. Number one rule is your bank will never call you, so never answer a phone call from any of your banks. They will always email you and come into the branch, but we'll go through that later on.
The scammers are bad, so please, everyone that's listening, be aware. Like, I get it all the time with readings. People get, they suck people in, and it's so frustrating, and you just want to go and smash their heads in, but you can't. So it's like, I just, have to take a deep breath and go, it's part and parcel. But please be aware, this time of year, there's massive amounts of scammers out there, and they do not care. They want your money, and they
absolutely
will go to great lengths to get that. So just, I don't answer any calls. If people don't leave a message on a voicemail, then they're scammers or they're trying to sell you something. So that's
absolutely. Rachel's got one too. I'll tell you how bad it got. This is really quick one just to wrap up. This guy he goes on from the NAB fraud team, right? Cut a long story short, he sends me a text message on my phone. He actually sent it on the number that NAB send all my other feeds through. So he got onto that feed and he sent me through. It's called spoofing, right? Never heard of it. And you actually think it's legit. It's actually your bank. And you go, holy shit, this is really my bank. I had the police come in, so we had to file a police report as well. And So my account's got frozen, like business account. Like when your business account gets frozen, it's shit. So you got to pay people and things like that.
Yeah.
And so everything got frozen. And the police officer came in and he goes, every second job that we're going out to at the moment is internet fraud or a credit card scam or something like that. It's people getting ripped off. And he goes, the problem is now they're getting onto the police SMS messages and they're spoofing from that saying, oh, Tonia Reeves, you have to come into here, or we need this information off you, and they're text messaging people as if they're the police. Scary as people, you've got to really, but we'll get into that another time. Let's not go on a Debbie Downer. Guys, you have all been fantastic. I think we've learned some valuable lessons this time around, and we'll talk about it a little bit more next week. I've got a gut feeling. I'm not the spiritual one. That's Tonia Reeves. But I think we will talk about loved ones who have passed away and about sharing Christmas and just cool things we can do, because next week will be our last show leading into Christmas. So let's make it a cracker. Let's get on there. Have some good
go
times.
out with a bang.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, it's a full moon tonight. We've got a full moon, so release all the crap for this year. Time to really move forward and go, you know what? Let's
absolutely. And the most important thing today, ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget this: the bargains you can get from Aldi. Bargains. Get yourself in there. Treat yourself. It is Christmas. Look after yourself. Get down to Aldi and buy yourself a tin of Danish biscuits for $4.49.
And say Tony sent you.
TNT Thursday community sent you. We need a sponsorship, guys. Seriously, we will. Everybody's involved. We'll be delivering stuff to Kathy in the States. Sean, you'll be getting stuff as well. Don't you worry. Pete will get stuff whilst he's working, all from Aldi. We'll get Aldi T-shirts maybe. No, actually, I'll draw the line. I'm not wearing their shit T-shirts. I'll eat their food, but I'm not wearing the shirt. No way.
I love it.
All right, I'm out of here. Right. Tonia, you've been fantastic. Everybody else, thank you so much for your feedback and everything else. Jen wants to know how much.
See you next week for our last show for the year.
See you later.
Take care, everyone.